Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? How you doing? How you doing? Uh, uh, uh. Let me open the chat. Let me open the chat. These past sessions have been fire because we have been discussing a lot of topics. I love it. I love it. So bring your questions on. Bring your questions on. Whatever you need from here, I'll try to give you an answer for everything. I just love when you guys can ask and I can actually answer your questions. Right. So, hello, Katrina. Hello, Sabrina. Uh, uh, uh. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna reply to all of them. Hey, Ramesh. Hola, Tocayo. 406. 406. Mr. Beats, watch out because we are just behind you. Hello, Mr. Hand. Hello, Rael. Hi, Sven. Hola, Aldo. Hey, Bob. Hello, Salman. Hey, Raj. How you doing, Raj? Long time. Hola, Barbie. Hello, Mina. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, it was a happy Friday for me. You will see. You will see. Hola, Alex. Hola, Alex. Hey, Gabi. Gabriel. Happy early Father's Day, Papi. Yeah, happy early Father's Day for everyone. Is it this Sunday? Is it? Hello, Laura. Is uh, I'm not sure if it's uh, y- I mean, Mother's Day is the actual very important day, right? Father's Day is like, oh, that I wrote you a letter. All right, Sunday it is. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, for all of the dads on this community, congratulations, happy Father's Day, happy early Father's Day. And for all of you guys, if you still have your dad around, do not waste any time. Call him today. Call him today, not on Sunday. I mean, also on Sunday, but call him today because you are the most fortunate people on earth. I still have my dad, and I'm very fortunate to say that my dad is my best friend. So I also work with him in one of my companies. So it's just amazing to have your dad around. So don't waste any time. Call him today and also on Sunday for Father's Day. All right, guys. So let's get started. Gabriel, let's start with Apple. Tell me what you did, Gabriel. Tell me what you did. Or well, there was a good question here, Sabrina. When do you shift bias from long to short, looking at QQQ? We'd love to hear your thought process using today as an example. Well, I it's gonna sound like super simple, Sabrina. But my bias for I don't have a bias for SPY and QQQ in the morning. I mean, I have my higher time frame bias, like especially when I go from the one day from the daily to the 15-minute chart. I kind of have a bias, but I'm not married to that bias for the whole day. So what I usually do is, well, I wait 10, 15 minutes for the indices to actually show me direction or trend. And then after these 15 minutes, I just use market structure. So whatever the market structure is telling me on indices, that's my bias. And if we have change of character on the indices, that's exactly what I use. I mean, I don't marry a bias on, especially on indices, because just as today, a tweet from the president can change everything. It doesn't matter how well or how wrong the market was doing. Just one tweet can change the whole story. All right, can you see my T-shirt? Go Texans! I'm just kidding. This guy sucks. I mean, well, the last season and maybe the last two seasons they had a decent season, but I mean they never won anything. So it's just local guy apparel. So all right, guys. So let's see, Gabriel. Apple was weak compared to all tickers. Entered 953, 953, 953. What about this? What about this? I already knew. I already knew, but I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. So this 198.23. Let's go to the. We said Apple, right? Let's go to the 1 day. 198.23. Multiple touches on the daily chart. Multiple touches on the daily chart. Look at how many touches on the daily chart. All right. So we had this break and retest. I know. This is immediate retest. But remember, guys, remember elevator down, escalator up. So when you are shorting options, you can be a bit more aggressive. So if you were watching this break and retest of this 198.23, 198.23, look how important is this key level here. Look how important is this key level here. Can you see it? That's how key levels work, guys. I mean, they need to be very evident. Don't try to draw a line on every jump of a candle. Just they need to be very evident. So we had this break and immediate retest of this key level here. And look here. Look here. One rejection, two rejections, three rejections, four rejections. Guys, if you are not watching this and you tell me that this is not weakness and retesting of this 198.23, I don't know what it's gonna be. So I was thinking, well, I was watching Apple. Remember, I mean, I have Apple on my screen, not because I want to trade Apple, but because I know we have some people like Gabriel that likes Apple. I mean, you don't like it. Don't trust Apple, guys. Don't trust Apple. But well, you know, Apple is market mover, so we had this break and retest here, and right here, after 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections here. And what was happening here on the indices? Well, rejection where external liquidity, a key level on the daily chart. This blue line, it's a 5:30:11 external liquidity, and also rejection of high of the day. Hey, Neto, but it's just 9:40. I know, guys. I know. But I mean, if you are looking at the context, this is a rejection, and this is a hard rejection of high of the day, right? I mean, it takes you right at the mid range here, right? Something like that. So if you open your position here, you know the drill. Your risk should be right here at the top of this candle here. And what are you looking now? External liquidity. How external? What about this previous day low? Well, this previous day low was, look at this break of previous day low. So once you have this break of previous day low, you may be cutting your position like here or taking partials heavily here. And it's a Friday, so probably right here you are like 40% up on your contracts, right? So I mean, look at this. Even if you waited for this break and then a pullback here to this key level, look at this reaction of key levels. Oh, now here, right? Like here. Long wick to the upper side, rejection. Long wick to the upper side, rejection. Long wick to the upper side, rejection. So this is, it's a, let me ask you. It's a Winson. Winson is it, are you here on the live? Winson from the Discord, are you here on the live? Because he was, he or she he or she was Winson. What, I don't know your name, but well, you were asking about buyers or sellers actually stepping in. Well, this is what it means. Sellers stepping in. Can you see here? So price, it's coming here to this previous day low, and look at this. I mean, price wants to go higher, and what happens here? Sellers stepping in. Price wants to go higher. What is happening here? Sellers stepping in. And here, well, I mean, buyers just were exhausted here. And once you see this reaction, it's exhausting buyers. This exhaustion, this reaction is, you have exhausted all buyers here. What are you expecting here? What are you expecting here, guys? This is more than evident market structure. What is this? Lower high. And if you had a lower high, what are you expecting now? Lower low. Lower low. Where? Lower low. Where? At least first, external liquidity here. Can you see here? External liquidity here. And now, lower low. Lower low. Again, retest of this previous day low. And now what are you expecting here? Lower high. And now lower low. What is your next level here? Well, pre-market low, guys. So can you see, when you follow market structure, it's super easy to manage your trade, and also to start having different targets. All right. So I'm not sure if Winson is right here. David. Hey, hola David. Hola David. All right. So this is sellers stepping in. Look at this. Look at this right here, David. Like here. This 10 in the morning candle. Long wick to the upper side, and what is this? Sellers stepping in. Next candle here, price trying to reclaim previous day low, and what is going on here? Sellers stepping in. How many times until buyers are exhausted? And then what happens when buyers are exhausted? Price drops. All right. So this is what I mean. This is what I mean with sellers or buyers stepping in. All right. Okay. And what about external liquidity? Okay. So what's the orange line? This is the orange line, boys. Look, this is the daily chart. This is the daily chart on Apple, and we have one touch, two touch, flip, retest, and look how many touches round right here. 198.23. 198.23. Look at how many bodies and candles touch this key level here. So orange line, it's a daily chart key level, multiple touches on daily chart key level. And now, Barry, what do I mean? What do I mean with external liquidity? All right. So when you go to your chart, let's say here your daily chart. Yeah. So you have different areas. of liquidity, right? So remember, liquidity is where there are a lot of orders. You don't care if they are buying orders or selling orders. Liquidity is just there's a level on your chart, or a price level where there's a lot of interest for buyers and sellers. So for example, right here, external liquidity could be this area here. Why? Just because this is the highest price of interest right now. This is the highest price of interest right now. All right. And this is the lowest price of interest right now. All right. So usually what we do, it's we try to identify the direction of price between this these two areas of interest, right? So everything between this supply and this demand zone, all of this is internal liquidity. Why? Because here on the day to day we can have, or I'm sure there's a lot, there's liquidity, right? Like points of interest for buyers and sellers, but this is the external liquidity, right? So this is the where this is where all sellers are interested to start action, and this is where all buyers are interested to defend the price. Is it a little bit clearer for you? So basically, liquidity is your supply and demand zones, and everything in between on your higher time frame supply and demand zones, it's internal liquidity. How can be internal liquidity? For example, these ones, right? My 5-minute opening range, that's my internal liquidity. My pre-market high and low, that's internal liquidity. But my previous day high and low, that's external liquidity. All right. So let's say everything intraday, it's internal liquidity, but everything on the daily chart, you know, previous highs, previous highs and lows, that's external liquidity. Uh, Let me go to the chat again. Don't trust Apple. I just hope that this never goes to Apple officers or something, because they're gonna say that we are just doing bad advertising. Trust but verify. Yeah. Sabrina, do you consider QQQ and SPY to have a clear direction at 940? No. 940? No. 940, we were right in the middle of the 5-minute opening range. Or maybe on the upper on the upper area, but I mean inside of the 5-minute opening range. So no clear direction. Joseph, this is my trade. This is the second one, right? This second one was easier, and I was reading a lot of you guys taking this second trade. But if you have this 198.23 that has been on my chart since forever, you may be infer this move here. And right here, look at this. Right here, I actually have this trend line here on SPY, because something that I like from SPY is that very beginning on the morning, it doesn't tell you where it's going, but it's telling you where it doesn't want to go. I'm sure that sounds funny, but look at this. Like here, right here, I mean, it's not saying, hey, I want to go lower, right? This is not saying I want to go lower. This is not saying I want to go lower, but this is saying I don't want to go higher. And it's not the same that I want to go lower, but I mean, at least you can start trusting or inferring a move here. And if you start watching this kind of weakness here, this is weakness, right? Because you are already below this first consolidation area here. So now you know it doesn't want to go higher right now, and it may want to go lower. So you start looking for names with relative weakness, right? Relative weakness. So if you are watching here, rejection of this trend line, and SPY doesn't want to go higher, what's going on here? Well, this is just showing that it's following the indices. It doesn't want to go higher. So it may want to go lower. So right here, after this 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to reclaim this 198.23, and after watching this 1 and 2 attempts of going for a higher high or new high of the day here, but actually rejecting this trend line here, well, now you have a few hints for you. All right. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, okay. Casey, how do you manage your mentality as today I get an entry in Palantir, but I sold out early before it broke out. I don't know how to solve that. Uh, well, you need to, I mean, you need to have conviction on your moves, Casey. Yeah, and the only way to have conviction is with experience, and the only way to have experience is to show up every day and do your job, my friend. Preparation, execution, journaling, learning. That's the only way to have conviction. Is today considered a choppy day? Well, not for me. I think it was very trendy. De nada, David. Gabriel. Pre-market low was my target. Pre-market low, where is pre-market low? Ah, yeah, this is pre-market low. Well, so now you see, right? So break, retest, higher time frame key level, and then we have this break, displacement, retest, sellers stepping in right here, previous day low, and what was happening with the indices? Look, I actually had a circle right here. What is going on here? It's rejecting this trend line. It's rejecting this 5 minute, no, this is the 1 minute opening range. This is rejecting this 599.27 external liquidity. This is a key level on the daily chart. So it's actually rejecting pre-market high. So there's a lot of confluences saying I want to go lower, or at least I don't want to go higher, right? So right here also QQQ, what it was doing, rejecting 530 and failing to create a new high of the day. Failing to create a new high of the day. So this candle actually closed below the previous high of the day. So a lot of confluences here, guys. A lot of confluences here. And with all this weakness, because this looks way weaker than the indices, right? So with this relative weakness here, you have a few different opportunities to actually enter into a trade. So for the ones that were looking this 953, you know, risk was at the top of these candles here, and you have your first target right here, pre-market low, and you actually got it, and this was a 1 to 3 risk reward rated trade. Nice, Very nice for a Friday, right? Um, okay, let me go again for the chat. So you look for the pressure of sellers and buyers? Yes. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another thing. I mean, I don't remember how was this thing here, but when the candle is actually developing, you need to you need to start watching how violent yeah, like how hard it's the push, right? I mean, if the candles are being pushed down aggressively, or they are going, or they are being pushed higher aggressively, now that's another indication of if the buyers or sellers are aggressive on that point. All right. Barbara. So the liquidity is the part where the action is easier to sell by because of how many times it has been in the amount of par. It's not how many times, but it's how much volume of orders are filled right there. Right? So another way to watch, oh, another way to watch for the liquidity, or where the most liquidity is, it's if you use your volume by price tool. Do you know what the volume by price is? So the volume profile, it's how many orders are filled on a time window, right? So for example, if I turn on the volume here, this is gonna tell me how much of volume it's on each day. But for example, right here, I have this on the right side. This is the volume by price. So this is the volume by price. Okay. So I chose to let let's let's look for the volume by price of this month. All right. So this is June volume by price. All right. So what is this telling me? It's telling me that the most orders have been filled right here, 203.14. This is the price level where the most orders have been fulfilled. And it's telling me, look at this. And this is telling me that everything be around this 200 key level, there has been just a few orders. So what does it mean? What does it mean? That when the price is traveling from here 198.85 to this point 201, there's a lot of volatility, right? Because the price travels so fast in this area that there's actually very few orders filled here. So I'm gonna stop with that because I don't want to confuse you guys. If you don't use volume by price or volume profile, I strongly recommend at least you try to understand what is it, because it's a very good tool to understand where the price has been liking to be on the previous days or even intraday. Um, Kevin, Nvidia, yes. Give me a few minutes. Barbie, very well. Okay. Joseph, waiting for QQQ trend. Princess Jen, I'm relatively new to this. How do you follow so many charts? Should I just start with one or two? Yeah, absolutely. Start with just one or two tickers, the ones that you like. Look at them, watch them closely, learn how they move, learn how they react to news, learn how they react to different times in the day, and try to learn everything about them, like the back of your hand, so you know everything about them, the relevant key levels, the time where they move, the if they move better on a Monday or on a Friday. So everything about them. Start with just one or two tickers, and I mean your consistency on your results will tell you when to start learning about others. Gabriel, could one of these day we can go over key levels? And yes, of course. Reverse day. Well, I mean, you can tell it's a reverse day, but on the higher time frame, it was just a step. Sabrina, what was your bias coming into today for QQQ and SPY? Weakness, weakness. With the war news, markets always dip, and there's something. I mean, I don't like. I don't want you. I will not like you to think that I'm being so cold, hard cold, or I don't know. Like I mean, I'm not a cold blood guy, but in markets they say that by the invasion. So when a war starts, there's always a dip, and if you buy that dip, usually on the next days or weeks, you will be like really well on your positions. So for being honest, I mean, I was just following the data, and I was expecting a dip. I was expecting a way bigger dip than today. I mean, this was just nothing. This was just nothing, and it's actually now. I think here it's oh okay. Well, it's not on yesterday's close. Yeah, it's still not on yesterday's close, but I mean it's recovering well. It's recovering well. I mean, while it can stay around this 600, everything will be fine for the markets. I just hope that nothing bad happens over the weekend. Palantir, I give me 1 second and I will go Palantir. Sabrina, 951. Do you consider the trend of the indices down? 951. Yeah, maybe yes. That's yeah. This 951. It's the actual lower high. This is the actual lower high, or maybe yeah. I mean yeah. For me, that's the actual start of the downtrend. And the how to get that volume by price indicator, it's right here on your tools. Right here. It's an anchored volume profile, or you can do fixed range volume profile. I prefer the anchored so I can actually move it. Um, Neto, how do you decide which break and retest system to use when the market opens? Is there one that is higher weight than others? Can you go over an example? Well, I mean, I'm always watching all the relevant key levels, right? I'm always watching uh, previous day high and low. I'm always watching the 5 minute opening range high and low. And I'm always watching the pre-market high and low. I think guys, if you start with those, you won't I mean you won't miss too much. You won't miss too much. I know I have key levels on the 15-minute chart. I know I have like this one 198.23. This is a key level on the daily chart. I know I use sometimes the opening price, the previous day close. I know, but if you focus on previous day high and low, 5 minute opening range high and low, and the pre-market high and low, I think you have a huge arsenal to look for plays every day. So don't worry about too many key levels to watch. Um, is there a volume class? No. We don't have a hey Uday. Uday. All right, so let's go to the next one, guys. AMD. What is going on here? Okay, so AMD here. All right, so some of the names, guys. Remember, I mean, every company has their own story, right? Every company has their own market. I mean, speak on customer based market, and they all have their own innovation, and they all have their own news. So usually, the price of the stock is determined by their own actions, right? But when nothing is just happening, then, I mean, when there's no news, when there's no earnings, when there's nothing, it kind of just follows the indices, right? It kind of just follows the indices. And right here, AMD is one of these names that, I mean, it has not been doing too much. So once you start looking at this kind of price action, and I don't like too much this thing of patterns, but if you are a pattern trader and you are watching this head and shoulders here, and this is your neckline, all right, so here you are waiting your break and retest and continuation to the downside, right? So you have, let me erase all this. I don't want people to think that I'm a pattern believer. All right, so here, guys, so you watch this head and shoulders here, right? And you had your neckline right here at 116. 116. So now that you had this break of the neckline here, and now you are having this retest here at the opening price. This is your opening price. Look at this. I mean, this is another thing. But imagine that you don't see the opening price because you are not following that key level. This trend line, it's actually telling you a lot, right? This trend line is actually telling you a lot. So it's rejecting the opening price here. It's rejecting this trend line here. So now you have a lower high. This is a lower high. And what we can expect here? Well, a lower low. Where? Well, our first target could be this 5-minute opening range. But look at this. I mean, there was no little to no reaction here. So our next target will be this pre-market low. And guess what? We actually had it. And now here, look at this. If imagine that you took this trade here at 115.88 and you follow all the way to here. And you say, well, I'm going to manage my position. I'm going to wait for continuation where I should be trying to cut my position here. So we had this strong reaction to the pre-market low, 5-minute open range reclaim, and we had this. So right here, guys, this is still a lower low, a lower high. Can you see? This is still a lower high, but here, when you build this is a higher low, right? This is a higher low. And once you build this higher low, what can you expect? And also what was happening, look at this. What was happening here on the indices? They were having their change of character. So here, if you are using the indices as your context, right here, you already know that indices change of character here, right here. Like maybe this 1036. Well, no, 1037. Strong reaction on both indices here. So they had a change of character here. And now you had some sort of reaction right here, 115.88. because it's external liquidity, right? So you had some reaction here, but now that you have built this higher low here, what can you expect? Yes, a higher high, right? And if your higher high is even beyond your stop loss, where you need to start managing your position, right here on this reaction. I mean, if you didn't take majority of your position here because it's a Friday, because you are actually hitting a nice key level here, and look at the reaction here. Uh, Gabriel, or who was asking for? No, David. Look at the reaction here. This, what is this? Well, this is buyers stepping in. Buyers stepping in. Long candle wicks to the downside and small bodies to the upside. It doesn't matter what color of the candle. Look at the reaction on the key levels. So here we had buyers stepping in right here. All right. Um, MDC, I don't trust. I don't trust AMD. Yeah, the AMD has been a tough guy lately. But last year, I earned a lot of money with AMD. I, yeah, I mean, AMD right now. AMD has a special place on my heart because last year I made a lot of money with it. Sabrina, 1027 QQQ was close to this week's low. QQQ. What is this week's low for QQQ? Oh, yeah. I don't know. Oh, this week low. Okay. Well, I don't have this week's high and low. I have previous week high and low. Uh, but yes, I mean that's why it's always important to have previous days highs and lows at least as reference, right? All right. So any questions on how to manage these trades, when to cut your position, why not wait until it hits the stop loss? Um, I don't use fair value gaps. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know how to use them. Uh, but at the moment you don't know, it's creating a higher low. It was also still expecting the market to go down. The trend line you have drawn as well, like here. Yeah. But I mean, look at the context. The context is that I mean, you have been following here. You have been following here the indices, and right here, they already have a change of character. So what are you expecting here? Well, to be pushed higher. Um, do you guys know about higher time frame market maker models? I don't. How do I not blow account if I raise 50%? Dude, that's just too much. Uh, Look at this, Sabrina. You already have a fan. Um, Sam, it was a silly mistake. I realized I had been gambling today with a zero DTE options trade and failed. Since this is a performance issue, any techniques to manage it if you don't mind answering? Uh, Tell me, Sam, it was a bad entry or a bad trade management? Because it's way different, right? Can you explain when you take a call on options and it's out of the market? Can you scale out of positions to make profit before it hits the strike? Yeah, yeah. I mean, remember with options, you don't need to wait until the strike. It's actually your the actual price of the underlying. I mean, you are just playing with the contract's premium, so it doesn't. I mean, right here, let's say that you bought right here at one on this break and retest, this 116.30, you got 120 calls, right? 120 calls. Even if you are right here at 117, I mean, it's not 120 yet, but I mean, your contracts, your contracts uh, won a lot of premium just because this move. So, I mean, you don't need to wait until 120, right? Uh, Bad management and entry. Well, I mean, for bad entries, Sam, I mean, you just you need to be patient, my friend. You need to be very selective with your setups. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to fix bad entries, right? But with patience, and I mean that's something. It's hard to fix. I mean, without any context. But for trade management, uh, I mean, first, don't be greedy before entering any trade. You have to define your risk, and once your risk is defined, you need to find out if this trade is worth, right? For example, this was at least a 1 to 2 reward ratio trade, but it's a Friday and premium moves very quick. So I won't be playing around with these reactions. I will be selling into strength. And what does it mean selling into strength? It's you sell with every push. I mean, you don't wait for the price to react. So if you were aiming to 115.45 because that was the 5 minute opening range high, once it hits this key level, you sell. You don't wait for reaction. You just sell. That's what we call selling into strength. So if you are not greedy and you are just selling into your key levels, that's going to be way easier to manage your trade, because once you start going to the opposite way, I mean, first you will have profits to hold your position until you find out that it's not working, right? Just as we were saying, if you were watching the indices as your context and they had a change of character, well, you are cutting your position. And especially on Fridays, you don't want to be greedy. If your trade work out quickly, fine, take the money and run. If it didn't work, that's fine also. You should be defining your risk and you just take your loss and go away. You don't want, I mean, if if you waited all the way to here and now you want to wait to see if it's coming back again, look at this. I mean, you hit your stop loss and you close your position, right? You long Apple, didn't wait for the market. Yeah, yeah. Hey Neto, can you share how do you plan your day? Plan your trade your plan? Yes, let me go first for the different for all the tickers, and at the end I'll share. Okay, so this was my trade, guys. This was my trade. What I was expecting here, I'm gonna show you the Amazon chart on the 15 minute. All right. So this was my Amazon chart on the 15 minute. Do you remember this white box? It has been there for weeks or maybe months now. But I told you guys, I don't trust Apple until we don't break this 218, and we never did. We never did. I mean, we had a fake right here, but we never broke 218. So I told you yesterday and the day before, and that, hey, Robert Parker, that's another word that you don't have in English. In Spanish, we say antier for the day before yesterday. So we have a one word for the day before yesterday. That's antier. So yesterday, well, yesterday was just chilling around, right? This 213. But antier, the day before yesterday, I told you guys, if we don't break 218, don't trust this thing. And that's exactly what happened. So we had this drop, consolidation, and what happened this morning? It got down. It got down. And what I was expecting? Well, I was expecting something like this. So gap down. I was expecting a retest of low of the day, or at least these key levels here. This is a key level on the 15-minute chart. And then another drop. For being honest, this was my plan today. This was my plan today. A huge drop to 207. But, well, at least we got this, right? So here, let me explain you what I was watching here. And as you can see today, I was very visual on my charts, right? So right here, we had this try to push up. We came here to 12, 13, key level on the 15-minute chart, key level on the 15-minute chart, touch, and hard rejection and drop. So hard rejection and drop, and then I was looking for this. So after this drop, I was looking for weakness around these key levels. So 211.50 and this previous day low. And I'm not sure if you can see all these arrows here, but all of these wait a second. I have very bad memory. I'm looking. Who asked for Gabriel? No, Gabriel. Give me 1 second. David Fernandez. So what is this, David? What is this? Look at all these candle wicks rejecting this previous day low. Huge candle wick to the upside, then an indecision candle, then another candle rejecting previous day low, another candle rejecting previous day low, another candle rejecting previous day low. So this, David, this is sellers pressure. This is sellers being aggressive, defending this 211.33, that's previous day low. So when I was watching all of these attempts, failed attempts to reclaim previous day low, and also I was watching here, guys. So I'm not sure if you can see this little tiny yellow arrow here, but this, it's, what is this? This is a break and retest of low of the day, or pivot low of the day. And also, what is this? 598.77. Look at this retest here of pre-market high, rejection, sellers stepping in. They tried to increase the price again, rejection. So after all these attempts to reclaim this 598.77 previous pivot low, weakness here, and also what was happening here on QQQ, look at all these yellow arrows here. This is a supply demand flip zone. So all of these attempts, sellers stepping in, David, sellers stepping in right here. Look at these wicks. Sellers stepping in. So after watching all these weakness in both indices, and also sellers stepping in right here on key levels and looking for this weakness on Amazon, I entered my position here. I enter my position here, and I had my risk at the top of this candle. At the top of this candle. This was the very first one. This was the very first one to retest this previous low. And I was aiming first, look at this. First, I was aiming this pivot low. So this was a 1 to 1.8 risk reward ratio trade. And then I was aiming, what is this? Opening price. Opening price. This was a 1 to 2.85 risk reward ratio trade. And this is how I manage my position. So I open my position right here, 1004. I trim my position something like 30% right here. Where? Right here. Where? Pivot low. This was my first target. All right. And then what was my next target? Well, I was looking for this push to the downside, then another push to my final target right here, today's open, and then another push to my final target here. And what is this, David? What is this? This is buyers stepping in. Buyers stepping in. Check at the candle wicks. Yeah, check at the candle wicks. They are defending this opening price. And right here, this 1039, what was happening on the indices? Change of character. What is happening right here in Amazon? Change of character. Well, right here, I close my position. So okay, Neto, how much time you spent after market close doing preps for the next day? 15 minutes, no more than that. I mean, I'm just refining my daily chart and my 15-minute chart, and that's it. And in the morning, I spend another 15 minutes to see if something like really crazy happened on the pre-market, and just to refine my 15-minute chart. In the mornings, the only thing that I do is refining my 15-minute chart. Orange lines, yeah, orange line, it's multiple touches, key level on the daily chart. Blue lines are previous highs and lows on the daily chart. White lines are very evident and relevant key levels on the 15-minute chart. That's it. What's your Discord? I don't own a Discord, but we do have a community where I help as a moderator. It's a Scarface Trades. I will share the link right here on the comments in a second. Neto, how large is your monitor? It's a 57-inch curved Samsung screen. Yeah, it's huge. And also I have a laptop right here. I mean, you are on the laptop, and I have my screen on the upper side. Neto, I was looking for a retest of the 5-minute opening range high, but it didn't hold up on Amazon. 5-minute opening range high, like right here, this 942. 942. Ilya. I have a meeting at 1 p.m. I have to drop Palantir. Yeah, Sabrina, you will need to come back later for the recording. Just make sure to watch the recording. I'll go over Palantir because I watched a few opportunities there. How did you choose the stop loss level? Usually, like here, it's for example here that we are taking a short position. I'm using the top of the retesting candles, or the top of the candle that actually broke my level, that in this case is very close to it. And also if I was taking calls here, for example, I will be taking the bottom of the retesting candle, like this, something like this, right? Okay, so 57. I know, I know. 940. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Ilya, yeah. So this is a, but look at this. There's never displacement. So this is immediate. This is immediate retest of your 5 minute opening range, and both indices were inside of the 5 minute opening range. So will you will need some displacement here to actually show you that is gonna happen something here. So no reaction here, exactly, no reaction here, but also there's nothing here telling you to open a position. No displacement, no green candles here. I mean, this one is, look at this, it's a longer wick to the upside. So what is this? What is this? Sellers stepping in. Sellers stepping in. And I'm not saying this is aggressive sellers stepping in. No, no, no. It's just, I mean, I just want you to understand that looking at this, after coming for this key level, 212.13, it's just, buyers are exhausted here. And then weakness. Um, did you choose the price to bar ratio for the chart? What is the price to bar ratio? Uh, Price to bar ratio? Something here? I don't know what is the price to buy. Something here? I don't know what is it. I'm sorry. Here? Log price to bar ratio. I don't know what is it in the settings. Yeah, I don't know what is it. I trade just like this. I don't trade from trading view. Not sure if I ever mentioned it. I live in Texas. I live in the United States. So I use Webull. Oh my gosh, Amazon. Oh my gosh, Amazon. But look at this. What is going on? The freaking white box. The freaking white box right here. So don't trust Amazon until it breaks 218 or until it breaks this 210. All right. All right. Okay. So price to bar ratio. I don't know what is it. I'm gonna I'm gonna explore there. You know what? I was actually talking to my colleagues today, and we were discussing that, like, hey, how many things did you learn this week? And I was like, well, I was focusing on performance and psychology coaching and not on technical. I'm on this stage where I don't want to add anything to my trading style because everything is working. It's like, don't fix what is not broken. Everything is working right now, so I don't want to add anything. So I'm gonna explore this price to bar ratio, but I'm not, learning too much this past weeks. All right. So Nvidia, someone took Nvidia today. Uh, so basically the same things, right? Not sure if you can see the crosshair line on my chart, but what I did is I tried to be very visual today, and also on the indices. So if you are here watching these visuals here, I want you to pay attention to the yellow arrows on both indices. So here it was the same drill, Open to the upside, started to show some weakness here. Can you see? And then a drop. So now that you are below the previous range of the price, what are you looking now? You are looking for any signal of more weakness here. So right here, guys, you could actually say, okay, well, what is going on here on the indices? Well, indices are showing a lot of weakness right here. 1010, both indices breaking their ranges to the downside. So now the whole market looks weak. Now the whole market looks weak. And what we had right here, what we had right here. So if you were watching this small area from, what is this? This is a downtrend on the pre-market. This is a small downtrend in the pre-market. So if you were looking at this small wick from the opening candle here, this is the 5-minute opening range low and the 15-minute opening range low. If you were watching this weakness here, you may have to say, well, let's try something here. You may, but if you didn't, that's okay, because you have no displacement here. So what was the next opportunity here? Well, now we had some consolidation and then a break of this level, and now we have something to reference here. So this is the previous low of the day. This is the a very small order block here on this candle, this green candle here, this green candle here. So you have small displacement here, but remember, when we are going short, we don't need like a huge displacement. We just need to look for weakness here. So what was happening here? So indices, I want you to watch closely what was happening here on the indices. Right on this break and retest of the previous low of the day, what was happening on the indices? All right, QQQ, break and retest, 5-minute opening range low. I'm sorry, SPY, 5-minute opening range low. QQQ, it was this break and retest of two different key levels. 528.21, that's a key level on the daily chart. And also, this is below the pre-market high. And I know, we don't like to use the upper levels as a step for going lower, but I mean, this is just weakness here, right? This is just weakness here. So this could be your first entry, and your risk will be at the, your risk will be at the top of this candle here, or even at the top of this order block here. And what are you aiming now? You are aiming external liquidity, 140, 150. So this is a 1-to-3 reward ratio trade, right? This is a 1-to-3 reward ratio trade. Neto, I missed entirely this entry here. What's going on? Well, good news for you. It's showing more weakness, and we have a new break and retest of what? Of this new low of the day. So you have this retest here, small displacement. Remember, you don't need huge displacement when you are shorting something. You are just looking for what? For weakness. So if you entered your position here after 1, 2, 3 rejections of this previous low of the day order block here, you have your risk at the top of these candles here, and you are aiming what? This pre-market low. What do you have here? 1 to 2.2 risk reward ratio trade and beyond. All right. When do you start cutting your position? Right here. Why here? Change of character, right? Change of character. So, did you, any one of you guys took Nvidia Rael? Okay. Wait a minute. Tocayo, Nvidia 1019 here. Something like this. All right. Very nice. And where was your target? 1027. Nice. Pre-market low. And 141. Oh, it was break even. Yeah. Well, that's trade management, Tokayo. You need. Oh well, no, it was not Tokayo. It was Rael. 1025. 1025 here. All right. Half of 1027 here, and all the way back up to my stop loss, to something like this here. Yeah. 141. 1041. 1041 here. Don't wait too much. Don't wait too much, Zarael. Especially on Fridays, you want to be out like quickly. All right. Is it valid to take a position on Amazon when it reclaimed the 5 minute opening range high at 11, or is it lower probability at 11? It is. I mean, what were the indices doing? Higher high, higher low. So you have market structure on your name and on your indices. That's a valid entry. That's a valid entry for sure. Out 1039 right here. Yeah. But the good news is that I mean, this is a win for me. This is a win for me, right? You had a good stop loss here. I just think that your stop loss, because these contracts were moving super fast, right? So probably you had a bigger loss on the rest of your contracts, and that's why you are break even. Because right here, your contracts were super high, right? They had a nice profit. So something that I do is that once I hit my main target, I try to move my stop loss. I'm not saying more because I don't want to confuse you, but I don't. I mean, I move my stop loss once I hit my main target. Right. Um. Yeah. You miss your scale. Yeah, I mean, if you were looking, yeah, 149, yeah, you miss it. But look at this. I mean, you had several opportunities here for like, okay, well, this is not working. Okay, well, this is going the other way. This is the pre-market low. Okay, it's actually reacting from this 141.52. Cut your position, my friend. It's way better to hold something here. And hey, it started working again. Well, you re-entered your trade, but it's Friday. You don't need to like wait to the last minute and lose everything. Neto, I avoid trades when the indices in opening range, as you said, but during previous day high and low tests, many ignore it. Even today on your Amazon trade, Spike QQQ were still inside of the 5 minute. Curious about your view. Well, yes, but this is different, Roslan, because the even when they were inside of the 5 minute opening range, first look how wide is the 5 minute opening range, and second, look at the market structure. All right, look at the market structure. So it's a clear market structure to the downside. Yes, I know it's inside of the 5 minute opening range, but what do you want to avoid? What do you want to avoid is if this is your 5 minute opening range, right? If imagine that Nvidia is a spy, you don't want this. This is barcode price action, right? This is barcode price action. But here, it's very clear your market structure right here, right? So it's very clear market structure. So that's why it's different. I mean, it's a different context. Not sure if I'm explaining myself here, Roslan. Uh, well, let's go to. Got it. Okay. No, you're very welcome. Thanks for asking. That was important. That was important because yes, I usually say that I don't want to trade if indices are inside of the 5 minute opening range. But this is different because we had a big push at the opening, and then we started having clear and nice market structure to the downside. And this is what I was telling you, right? If you have something like this on your 5 minute opening range, well, this is something that you don't want to trade, right? Because it's not going anywhere. But once it breaks this consolidation, now you are interested, right? Let's go to Tesla. So I didn't want to go with Tesla because I was watching the indices right here, 940. Look at this, 940. I think this is the time when Tony took his entry, and yes, he had a higher time frame thesis of holding this 316.87. This is the pre-market high. Yeah, 316.87. No, 316.84. That was the pre-market high. So he was like, okay, well, again, look at this, David. Sellers stepping in. Huge wicks. From where? From the key level. Huge wicks. So buyers stepping in. So once we held this pre-market high, you could say, well, let's give it a try. So if you open your position right here, 947, above this previous candle here, and you have your stop loss, you can use your stop loss you can place your stop loss two different ways. First, right here at the bottom of these candles, right? But second, you can do it right here, previous day low, pre-market high, and you have your first trims right here, high of the day, 1 to 1.6 risk reward ratio trade, and then you can aim to here, 319. It was a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade. You take more partials here, and you sell into strength once you hit this 320. This is a 1 to 3.9 risk reward ratio trade. But what was happening in the indices, guys? What was happening with the indices? Well, indices were saying, we don't want to go higher. We want to go lower. Or, what do you think? Let me know on the chat if this is clear for you. I know QQQ was not as clear as SPY for this, but SPY was very clear. All right. So this is the Tesla trade, and again, you don't wait, especially on Fridays. You don't wait for price to actually hit your stop loss. So maybe you were stopped here. Well, it's almost the same. But I will cut my trade like on this candle here. I don't wait for the stop loss here. But anyways, I mean, look at this. This went nuts on this candle. I will have like 80% or 90% of my position out right here, and you are just holding 10%. So after 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles, maybe you are out. And also, what was happening on the indices? Well, right here at high of the day, that was another rejection of the trend line on SPY, and that was a hard rejection of high of the day on QQQ. So probably here I'm starting to think, oh well, that's not good news for the indices. I may have to manage my position. So again, especially on Fridays, you don't wait all the way down for your stop loss to be hit, especially when you already took your main target, your main target. Right. Bye, Barbarita. De nada. Rael, I was out 10:39. Okay, that was from the. Okay, sold at 951, 951, right here. Yeah, right here. Well, that's nice because that meant that you were maybe around here, previous day close, and it was a 1 to 2.5 risk reward rate to trade. That's great. That's great. And let's look at another play here. Once you broke, look at this. Once you broke this consolidation area here, and once you had higher high, this is a what? Lower low. This is what? Lower high. And what is this, guys? Lower low. And what you can expect here? Well, lower high. And once you hit here, and you are watching for weakness, you know that you will have a lower low, right? I will be aiming to here, this 5-minute opening range low. I will be aiming to here, but I want to show you something. So here, 1027, I'm gonna move a little bit this. 1027, what was happening with the indices? They were pushing lower. So this is a good chance to have a trade here. It's the break and retest of this 5-minute opening range. But also, this is the break and retest of this consolidation area, bottom side of this consolidation area. So you can have an entry here, expecting a lower low here. And well, right here, it was a 1 to 2.4 risk reward ratio trade, right to this opening price. I was expecting a move to the 5-minute opening range, but right here, guys, that was a nice move. 1 to 2.4, and then here you close your position. Maybe here, 1033 or 1034. Especially on Fridays, if you have 3 opposite candles, you just close your position. That's probably be the end of your trade. But also, what can you see right here on this bottom of the move? Well, SPY, external liquidity 596.86, 596.86, and also QQQ 526. All right, so this is not coincidence. This is Tesla moving on the same way than the indices. All right, so let me go to the next one. I want to now let me skip these ones. Let's talk about Palantir. I want you to watch this just in case. I think it was Sabrina, Sabrina was asking. So here, this it's a very clear trend line here, right? So once you draw your trend line here and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, look at how many rejections on this trend line. All right, how many rejections on this trend line? Okay, I enter Palantir long at 10 in the morning. Give me 1 second. All right, so I was watching this 10 in the morning. Well, first 10 in the morning, I don't like to use the 10 in the morning o'clock candle because it usually has news, right? So right here, well, look at this here, Andy. I mean, you enter here, it was a nice reaction of the 5-minute opening range. This order block here, yes, and the reclaim of 137.10, that's a previous day high. That's previous day high. I like it, but what was happening on the indices? They were actually breaking out on the downside. Look at this, 10 in the morning, below the opening price. Right here, 10 in the morning, below this consolidation area. And look at these candle wicks here. So David, I already told you a lot of your name, but I just want to make sure that you have a lot of examples here. So these are sellers stepping in. Look at this. And not sure if you remember how this candle developed, but this was aggressive sellers stepping in because we had a rip and then a fade on the same candle. So sellers were stepping in here. So yeah, so as you can see here you don't see that same reaction from the indices on this candle here, but you actually have something similar on the next ones, right? So you can see that same reaction on this candle, but you can see that reaction on the next candles. I entered 10 a.m. while it looked like both indices were putting in a full body up close candle. Yeah. But that's why you need to wait for candle closures, especially the 10 a.m. candle here. So, well, here, once you saw that 10 in the morning candle with a lot of weakness from there, look at how many all these yellow arrows here. So I was saying, okay, well, if this thing doesn't want to go higher, well, it maybe go lower, right? It may go lower. So once you have a few reactions to this trend line and also a few reactions to previous day high, if you enter your position here, you have your stop loss at the top of these candles here, and you were aiming to 135.50. Let's say 135.50 here, or yeah, 135.50 here. Look at this. This was a 1 to 2.4, 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade right here. And if you were selling into strength, you got a very nice premium here. But also, if you were holding this because you already watched this trend line, you can wait for the reaction on the trend line. And what happened on this trend line? What happened on this order block here? Rejection, rejection, 3 rejection. And what happened then? Boom, another drop. And that was your second chance for entering into a short position here. Look at this. This was a 1 to 2, let's say, yeah, something like that. It was a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade, or if you go to this candle here, it was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade just to this key level 135.28, or this is the previous day close. This is previous day close. So you had these two different opportunities. And what's this here? What's this here? Well, after the market had their change of character on both indices, you actually had this reclaim of previous day high. And what do you have here? Oh, I was trying to do it. It was a nice break and retest of this previous day high, order block here, and a move to the upside. So again, if you open your position right here, what the indices were doing? Well, they were having a good market structure reaction on a key level 597.60 on SPY and the opening price on QQQ. Yeah. And look at this. I mean, this is relative strength, right? This is relative strength. Why? Because Palantir, it's already at the top of the range, while both indices were at the middle of the day range. Okay? It was actually the middle of the 5-minute opening range on both indices. Well, no, on QQQ at least. So this is another way to watch for I mean, this is not trading reversals. As you can see, I'm waiting for a nice change of character and then the break and retest on key levels. So this is not a reversal trade. This is just waiting for the key levels to actually work. All right. And Gabriel, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 90 minutes from when we start. So guys, that will be all for me. That will be all for me. Thank you very much for joining. You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and guys, if you have questions, if you want to share your trades, this is a safe place to do it. We can take a look to all of them, and for now, just please, please, please journal all of your trades. Go all over your data for the weekend. Learn the lessons on your trade. You already paid for them. You already paid for them. If you have a loss or if you have a win, learn from your lessons, please. All right. So, guys, have a very nice weekend. Have a very nice weekend. And I will see you on Monday. Bye. And happy Father's Day.